Right then, guys, I hope you can all hear me, since this is the first one without mic and the first one on the channel. So just drop me a comment, guys, if you can hear me all right and if everything looks okay. Can you hear me? Perfect. Right then, guys, welcome to the first live stream on the Bombardier YouTube channel. I thought I might as well do one, seeing as though Mike's away fighting the good fight, spreading the UK prep network all over the country, down at the Pembrokeshire prepper meet. So you guys, just Q&A with myself. Anything you want to ask, prep related, non-prep related. I know we've got some people in the chat who are fan of UFOs, high strangeness, ghosts. I've seen, experienced a lot of that kind of stuff. So any questions at all, guys? Any questions at all? I'll answer them. And if you haven't seen it, guys, I've got it. Cheers, Jay. Too fair, mate, you're not missing so much of that film. If you haven't seen it as well, guys, today I put a video up of me testing some titanium from Temu. I'll answer that in a second, Miss Worm. Yes, I did a video today testing the titanium, which I got a shock at. I didn't think it was going to be titanium, to be honest, for the price. So I tested a mug, tested the 10 pegs, and then, yeah, quite a shock, guys. If you want to go and have a mooch over there. So let's see what Miss Worm says. When is the new channel starting? Yeah, guys, so if you didn't know, I'm starting a new channel called Shadows and Sightings, about UFOs, paranormal, high strangeness, all those types of subjects and topics. And that will be starting tomorrow, I hope. So I'm hoping to get some videos out tomorrow. It's a lot easier to do them, guys, really, because you don't need a lot of kit and equipment. So I just do them sat here. So I'm hoping, Miss Worm, that will be starting tomorrow. And I think the first video I'm going to do is my UFO sighting in Afghanistan. I think that's the first one I'm going to do. I think that's picture, Mr. Sharon, Miss Worm, sharing. So the first one I'm going to do is, yeah, UFO sighting I saw in Afghanistan in 2013. That's probably going to be my first video, probably the one that most people want to hear about. So yeah, so that's going to be my first video, guys, and that's going to hopefully start tomorrow. Plug for Miss Worm. Look, got Miss Worm's book. I've only read the first chapter because I go on holiday next weekend, so that's going to be that's going to be my holiday reading book. So as you would expect, very punctual and grammatically correct, as you expect from Miss Worm. So go and share some support, guys. Books on Amazon. Right, let's have a look at the question here. So I've done that one. So how does my view of prepping differ from engineer, different emphasis? Yeah, so how it differs, mate, is because the artillery was a combat support role. In my view, you had to stray both lines. So you had to be, a lot of it was combat and infantry based, but so that was probably, say, what, 20%, and another 80% guys was combat support. So it was fighting, but it was in the support role. So if guys were in contact, they would call the artillery in. And so I suppose the different emphasis on it, mate, is we had a lot more kit and equipment. So I suppose the different emphasis is, mate, I used a lot more kit and equipment because we had the vehicles to move it. So where you see lads who, on their prepping basis, and I suppose like a lot of the MOS guys, because a lot of them were infantry based, a lot of their kit and equipment is more infantry focused. And it goes down that single thing, where mine is a lot more civilian focused. Like you won't see any of the MOS guys with a jet ball, for example. A jet ball is quite a civilian piece of kit. And and I had luxury using that because of the places I was in, and I had the opportunities to allow it. So we could get away with using a lot more civilian-based stuff. So I think that's the main difference, mate, between infantry and the artillery aspects. I hope that answers your question. Oh, wait there. Hey, there we go. Got Brian. Or we should have.
Hello, testing testicles. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, we can hear you, mate. We can hear you.
Oh, unlucky.
You're all right, mate, tonight anyway, because I'm not monetized, so you can say what you want.
Yay, boobies.
Jay, are you aware of the missing 411? Yes, mate, I am. So I have, in fact, is it here? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. So I got that book, mate, back in 2013. And I think I got it sent out to Afghan when I was there, because you could get it sent out there without VAT or without tax if you had a PO box. So yes, mate, I do. Very, very interesting if you're in that type of thing. I find him frustrating sometimes when he won't admit that he thinks it's Bigfoot. That annoys me sometimes. But his books, mate, are very good, and he's done a really good lot of documentaries. So yes, mate, I am. Let's go this one. Which Prepman YouTube channels do you watch most apart from Brian Miss Worm, like Bryson? The only
how diplomatic.
The only one, mate, that I really watch is a guy called On3. I don't know if you've heard of him. And he is more of he's just a civilian guy as well, based in America, and he does more like survival videos. I don't really watch any prep videos, to be honest, guys. And like you say, unless it's 10 people there, I don't really watch American ones, guys, because in my view, it annoys me because they can have weapons and stuff, and it winds me up that I can. So and a lot of their EDC is like 4 pistol mags, and it just annoys me, so I don't bother watching them.
That's something it's always a hot topic on. And we've spoke about this off camera 10 times. Mm-hmm. You can't have the same conversations that our friends in America can have because of the adverse inference that could be had by the police if they think you're some sort of raving psychopath and you've got a Section 1 or a Section 2 firearms license. And it's a very real risk if you run a YouTube channel that even other people's comments, because I know the guy from English Shooting, he had somebody made comments on his channel, and he got his guns taken off him. Mm-hmm. But it's just a different culture as well. I mean, the Americans, the right to bear arms, and they'll talk about self-defense and they'll mention firearms. If you mention firearm and self-defense and you actually apply for one or own one, you're in the shit. In this country.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Hence, if MD's wondering why on the Prepper podcasts and stuff we avoid some subjects like the word toxic slime, it's because of the personal risk to us on the channel of any adverse inference that the police might take from it.
Like I said on the last Fireside we did, mate, if you want to talk to any of us about that, we more than happily would, but you need to go to one of the meets. That's the safest place. Aye. If you want to have any type of discussion around that type of stuff.
There's a little dwarf in a gimp suit banging on a cage.
It's
Andy, let me out, I'll do butt stuff.
It's just a TV. It's just a flat screen TV. It's not exciting.
Spoken like a serial killer.
Pets are good for mental health, but a burden potentially in SHTF. Are they good in it? So, I think people might have saw on Discord the other day when I put that picture in of my German Shepherd.
Yeah. Lovely dog.
He was an absolute, he was a beast of a dog. And believe it or not, mate, I got him as a rescue as well. So I got him, mate. I might as well tell the story now. So when I left the army, mate, in 2016, I wanted a dog. I never had one growing up, and I wanted one all the way through. And you just couldn't have one in the army; it wasn't feasible. So when I left, and for some reason, mate, I've got an affinity for German Shepherds. I don't know why. Nobody I know has ever owned one. Like, it's just the dog that I loved.
Everybody has their dog, their type of dog.
Yeah. Man just happened to be a German Shepherd, and So I left the army in 2016, mate. In 2018, around about Christmas time, my friend Paula sent me a picture of him, and he was called Dao, D-A-O. And so that's what he's called, and she sent me that through, and I was like, what a dog that is. So I went down to the kennels, mate, where the charity had him, because it was a charity called Happier Days to Strays who had him. So I drove down to the kennel and parked up. And the lady came out, was very nice, and she sent me, "Oh, what are you here for?" And I said, "Oh, I need to see the German Shepherd that you've got in for adoption." And she was like, "Are you sure you want to see him?" And I was like, "Yeah." That's why I've come all the way down here. It was over in Sunderland.
Our sales pitch wasn't very good, was it?
No, it wasn't. No. So as we're walking over, I said to her, "Why the hesitation about the dog?" And she went, "Because nobody can walk him." She was like, there was one Down syndrome lad who was a teenager, and for some reason, mate, he took a shot to him and he'd let him walk him, which was like nobody else can go near the the kennel he was in. He just goes mental. And I was like, all right, okay. I thought she was having me on. So as we're walking down to the kennel, she was like, "Look, if you can get him out, feel free to take him for a walk. The leaders are hung up on there, which like, don't hold your breath. And I've got the stuff to do." So I was like, yeah, like crack on. You know what I mean? And so workmate had given me the afternoon off to go down and look at him. So I went down, and as soon as I went to like the front of like the kennel door, like the metal cage, he went for me, like snarling, trying to bite through the cage. And I was like, "Geez, like, maybe I was like, maybe this woman's right. Like maybe he's just, do you know what I mean?" Because I didn't know what happened to him then.
It's a bad experience with a man.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, mate, so he did that for about 10 minutes, and then he went and sat at the back of the kennel, and he was just stood barking at me.
Oh.
So I was like, well, I've been given the afternoon off at work, and I don't want to go back to work anyway. So I sat with my back to the kennel door. And I was like, "Look, mate, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to take you for a walk at some point. So just get out your system." And I was there, mate, I think for an hour and a half. And he's just barking at me. And he got me to around about the 2-hour mark. And I thought, I don't think it's going to happen today. And I went to walk away, mate. And as I went to get up, he licked my ear through the metal cage.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, let's try it." So I opened the cage door, and I picked the lead off. And he just came straight over me and let me put the lead on him.
Look, I'm bringing a new dog home.
Yeah. So I slipped the lead onto him, mate, and I took him on. I must have been out, mate, for about an hour and a half with him. Walked all the way around Penshaw Monument and down the river and that with him. And you should have seen the woman's face who ran the kennel when she saw me coming back. She was like, "No way on this planet have you got him." I was like, don't know what to say about this. Anyway, I put him back in his kennel. And I was talking to the woman. I said, "How come he's here?" And she said, "So the man and woman, mate, who had him got put in jail for hurting him." And at the time, mate, it was the first person in the area who'd been put in jail for hurting animals, and he got 5 years. So he must have really hurt him. And so there was 3 dogs.
Scumbags.
Scumbags, mate. They took him. They took a Chihuahua, and they took something else, another little sized dog. And she went, the little sized dogs went within a week. But she was like, how big was he? No, he was 45 kilos, mate. He was a big old dog. And if he could jump, like if he jumped up on his back feet, he could put his paws on my shoulders. So he's probably 6 foot maybe when he was stood tall. He was a beast of a dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I said, "Yeah, I'll take him." And she was like, "Oh, well, you need to go and speak to the adoption agency. We just do them a favour and hold them." So I went down, mate, and I spoke to the woman. I paid. It was only £100, mate, to get him. I paid the £100, and the next day I went to pick him up. And I went down in my car and I opened the boot, and the woman said to me, I don't know what it's going to be like, son, getting into your car, because we never took him anywhere. I was like, well, only one way to find out, isn't there? And she opened the cage.
You like Garfield on the inside of the windows, bloody palm prints.
Yeah, and I took him, and like I say, mate, I opened the boot and she opened the cage door, and he just flew, mate, straight out the cage door, jumped in the boot of the van, and the boot of the car, sorry, and that was it, mate. That's how I got him, and I did all of that without telling Leanne. so I did that, mate, and she come back from work. She come back from work, mate, the day that I got him, and I got used to him pretty quick. But if you hadn't seen him for, mate, he was a huge dog, and she came in. She didn't know I got him, and he was in the kitchen at the time. We're in the flat, so when you opened the door, you were front room straight away. Then you could see straight in the kitchen, and he was eating his food in the kitchen. And as she opened the door, he just like stopped eating and looked at her. She was like, "What on earth is that?"
There's a werewolf in my kitchen.
Yeah. She was like, "Whose dog's that?" And I was like, "It's mine." She was like, "Fuck off. No, it's not." I was like, "No, it's friendly, man. I bought him. I paid for him today. He's a rescue dog." And that's how I ended up. Like I say, mate, I lost him in September of 2023.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
To be fair, mate, it was one of those things, you know, like they say about German Shepherds. It literally was, mate, like overnight, his back legs went pretty much overnight. Like woke up one day, mate, he couldn't walk. And that was that. But yeah, in answer to that question, in answer to his question, he was a big part of my preps, mate, to be honest with you. He was a big part. I mean, even though he never bit anyone, he's very, very intimidating. And if you ever walked him, people would cross over the road, and they were scared of him.
There was.
Go on, mate.
I was going to say, I would rather spend shit hits the fan with dogs than most fucking people, to be honest.
Yeah,
as terrible as that sounds, because the dog's love's unconditional, and it just wants to be your friend. And if only people with two legs could emulate what our little friends before could do, it'd be a better place for it.
So yeah, okay then. What's the most embarrassing thing the dog has done? Most embarrassing thing he ever did. It wasn't embarrassing. It was funny, but he was definitely he was definitely my dog. And he only ever really listened to me. He wasn't really bothered about what Leanne said in the slightest. And it wasn't embarrassing. It was funny. Leanne had made a corned beef sandwich or something like that, and she'd left it on like the little puffy thing that you get with the sofa. And she went to the kitchen to get a drink, and he like commando crawled off his bed to where the sandwich was, and like with his front teeth, he lifted the top of the bread bun off, and then slid the corned beef out and ate it. But then he put the top of the bread bun back on the sandwich, and then went down onto his bed. And Leanne came back and took a bite of this sandwich, and she was like, "Have I not put anything in this sandwich?" And I went, "Oh, you can't have. I didn't want to grass him up. Didn't have the to." And then the other thing he did as well, mate. We went pumpkin picking once at Brock Bushes near where I live, and Leanne goes, "Mad me pumpkin," and we'd bought about 5 of these pumpkins, and I come down for work. So we had a couple, mate, like underneath the fireplace, and I come down one morning and I looked at the fireplace and something looked like it was missing, but there was no mess, nothing, not a scrap of anything, right? And I was thinking, what on earth is missing from there? Anyway, mate, I didn't think anything of it. Then Leanne come down there. I was like, what's missing from the fireplace? I was like, I have no idea. I thought the same thing. So anyway, Leanne went to work, and I was because it would have been during COVID, mate, that it happened, or maybe around about the time, and I was working from home, and I'd clocked that it was a pumpkin, and I said to him, because I talked him like he was a human, I said to him, "Do you have you eaten that pumpkin?" And he just looked the other way, and I thought, "Have you actually?" Because it was massive. It was a big old pumpkin. It was like bigger than it would have been maybe double the size of a football. It was a big old pumpkin, and I was like, "You can't have eaten that. There's nothing there, mate. Like no store, no nothing. Right? Everything was gone." And I was like, "What?" So anyway, later on, I was like, "Come then, we'll go for a walk." So he jumped up and he ran to the front door, and when he did, mate, I lifted his bed up. And there was a single pumpkin pip, a single one. That's all there was from this pumpkin. And I took him out, mate, for a walk. Went for a walk, obviously did his business, and it was orange, pure orange with chunks of pumpkin. And I went when I come back, I'm going to phone the vet because someone told me it could be toxic. So I rang her and I said, "Look, what's the crack? Because he knocked this pumpkin off." And she was like, "How big was it?" And I told her, and she went, "Well, he's 50 kilos now, isn't he?" I went, "Yeah." She went, "It'll be okay. I don't think there'll be any danger." But then after that,
he's going to be shitting like a bear.
It was, mate. But then after that, mate, every Halloween, mate, he'd go mad for a pumpkin. You'd have to buy you one. So we used to buy one, mate, from Brock Bushes. And when Leanne would scoop all the stuff out, he would just sit next to her, and she would scoop the pumpkin middle out and just let him eat it, and he'd just sit there for hours and just eat the thing. Yours done anything embarrassing, Bri?
When we just get married, we were living in a flat, same kind of idea as yourself, and we'd bought a collie. Our first dog when we got married was a collie, and it was Halloween time, and my daughter must have been about a year old, something like that, maybe not even that, and we had this huge, big, red Halloween cake that was sitting on top of the worktop, and the dog was collie. He was not a big dog. So he's in the kitchen, and we went over to visit the in-laws. Came back, he did the whole fucking thing, whole thing. Mate, it must have been that by that, right? It was like a fucking car tire, and he jumped up and scoffed a lot. Then proceeded to shit like a bear, and it was like he'd written his name on the wall with an icing bag full of shit. Right, it was sprayed up the wall. Right, it was like a modern art expose. It was a Banksy for a dog's arsehole, and it was all over the wall, which we just had wallpapered. And he must have decided that his artistic expression came out, and he redecorated the kitchen and the carpet. Same dog ate through the fridge freezer plug, ate through the flex when it was plugged in, pulled the little bit of the plug, the flex and the plug out the wall, and then brought it into the living room like it was a trophy, and didn't die. So I don't know how that works. Other than that, he was a good dog.
But like I say, mate, I haven't had the heart, mate, to get another one, and I don't really want any other type of dog, mate. To be honest with you, like you say, mate, like your dog's obviously huskies, aren't they? And mine's German Shepherd, mate. So, and also as well, mate, I'd want another rescue, I think.
We thought about that, but we had. So when Dodger was a pup, we had the first of the huskies, Nero, and then Dodger died, and he was heartbroken. So we got Nala, and they were inseparable. And then one day he broke into her crate. Nature took its course. And I got the blame, right? I swear to God, I got the blame. The wife actually accused me of staging some sort of mad shagging expedition for the dogs and letting them have at it. To this day, she still accuses me of that. So, yeah, shortly thereafter, because she was only a small dog, and she had 5 pups, but 2 died, and she got an emergency C-section, and we walked home with a basket with 3 puppies in it. And they said, look, chances are she's not going to make it, but we're still working on her. So we get random phone calls every couple of hours of, we're going to spend this, we're going to spend that. And it was like, I don't give a rat's arse how much I spend. I want my dog.
Yeah.
So I think it worked out about $3,500 for 24 hours vet care. But we got the dog back at the end of it. So we ended up, that's us with 5 huskies, 3 puppies, which we were bottle feeding, right? So Donna's friend, my wife's friend, had they were good. They had a husky. They decided they would take one of the pups. They took Luna, who died about 3 weeks ago. So that was another fun time. But anyway, so we kept the other 2 because my heart wasn't in it to give them up. So that's how we ended up with 4 huskies. And they tend to blow their coat twice a year, which our house for probably the last 10 years looked like a seagull in a blender with the lid off at a high speed.
to be fair, mate, Deo only ever used to do that once a year. But me, to be fair, mate, it was a full year. It was an all-round yearly job. I mean, pretty much, to be fair, because he was an absolute beast. What is your best prep?
Ooh.
Do you have anything to mind, Brian, before I go? Or
what's my favourite prep or best prep? Same thing, is it?
Go for both of them. If you've got different ones, go for both.
Best prep would be, I've got to say, Powerbank, and it's probably not unexpected, but given the age we live in, favourite prep and best prep for me would be a Powerbank, because it'll make my life a bit easier should shit hit the fan or an unexpected occurrence happens, we're deprived of power.
Yeah.
Keep my food fresh, keep the telly on, charge the mobiles. So that's why. What about yourself?
Best prep is that Renogy fold the solar panel I bought.
It's nice that
one there.
That was a good video.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That mate by far is the best prep that I have. Like I say, mate, charge your phone straight off it, charge your anything straight off it with a USB or USB-C connection, and obviously it charges the C300. My favourite prep is my Jetboil. Purely for there's a lot of sentimentality wrapped up in that. But purely it's so simple, mate, and it never fails. And it's one of those bits of kit, mate, where it's been through in Holdalls, through in Bergens, and it's always worked. I mean, that thing, mate, must be close to 15 years old, and the igniter on it still works.
That's a good advert.
Like it's like I said in that video, mate, earlier on, I've tried other stoves and I tried them out, mate, but I'm not really interested in trying them because I know I'm not going to replace the Jetboil. It's always going to be there. I might as well just buy another Jetboil as a spare. Do
you know what's a thing I don't have? Is a Jetboil. I've never bought one. I bought one for my brother for his birthday, and Michael being Michael, it's still in the box. He tends to buy things and be given things, and they live in boxes and never come out of the boxes.
What is a prepper's best friend in your opinion? Kit-wise or non-kit-wise? Because if I'm going, I'm turning it new here, Bri. If I'm going kit-wise, I would generally say one of those folding solar panels, because of what you can do and how versatile it makes you. You, Bri?
Prepper's best friend, an understanding wife or partner. That's a prepper's best friend, and on both ways it works, because if they don't actively block you, even better if they actively support you and understand why you do what you do, and maybe even help, then that's probably your best thing you could have for prepping. Somebody that understands you and supports you and helps you on your prepping path. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, mate, a prep out first off when it came in. I was going to say mindset is the best thing, because like when everyone says about bug out bags, mate, and how heavy they are and where you're going to take them, like doing that, mate, clean fatigue, putting 25 kilo on your back and walking 10 miles once is probably achievable for a lot of people, although it would take a lot of time, I would imagine, and it would be painful. But try doing that under duress, stress factor, adrenaline's pumping, all the negative chemicals that your body's been flushed with, cortisol, etc. And then try doing that, mate, 7 days on the bounce. It just can't be done. And that needs to be a mindset, mate, of realization of your Bergen or your bug out bag, whatever it would be, mate, or what your plan is, the way your body, mate, and the way your brain's going to react in that situation is a lot different to how you think it's going to be in terms of getting.
Plus, you think you're still 21 years old.
Yeah, you do, mate. Yeah.
And here, you're 21. You can jump over fences, bruises heal within a day. Well, no, I'm 51, right? Bruises now take 3 weeks. I've got Achilles tendonitis after walking up a hill for 4 days running on a course, and I still can't walk properly. So that's why I don't laugh when people say they're going to put a bug out bag on, they're going to walk into the hills and be Bear Grylls. I understand why you think like that, but you only think that because that's not going to be the reality.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
If you have family, friends at risk medically, how far is reasonable to prep for them versus prepare to lose them due to risk?
Ooh. Depends what the health conditions are in it, Andy.
It does make massively, because so my granddad mate was diabetic and my uncle was. They're both passed away now. And I've got a brother-in-law who's diabetic. Now that mate, for me, I don't know how you prep for that. If FH, because I don't know where you're getting insulin from. I don't know. You could potentially stockpile it, maybe, if you can get around it. So I don't know, because I'm not diabetic, so I wouldn't know. But something like that, mate, for me, that would be a real crusher. I don't know how you would get around something like that.
I mean, it boils back to the bug out bag thing a little bit. So you've got an elderly loved one, and you're going to strap on your backpack and go and leave them because they're ill, potentially. I don't think most people would do that, including me. And see, to be blunt, see if you would do that, I don't want anything to do with you. You're a horrible person. I don't know. I mean, risk medically, is it achievable to prep for them in the first place? A no bullshit assessment. Can you stockpile meds one way or another, however you do it, for their needs? If you can, then it's reasonable and it's practical. If it requires medication or perhaps some sort of treatment like dialysis that there's no way you can do anything about, then obviously you can't prepare for that. But I don't know how you'd prepare to lose them.
I think that Phil, I think, comes back to when I was saying mindset earlier. Like Brad just said there, you have some real no BS conversations with people about what the risks are and what the mitigations you'd put in place, but ultimately what the end state's going to be.
Yep.
Because there's like Bryce said, there's no way around it. And there's no point fluffing up and telling people, oh, if something bad does happen, don't worry, we can get you through it when you can't. Like everybody, like the tough conversations a bit around that would have to be, for me, prepared to lose them due to risk. And and like we say, mate, that's no one's fault. That is purely circumstance based. If that's unfortunately where you've got relatives where at that point in their life, I suppose.
It's a horrible thought, isn't it?
It is, mate. Horrible.
Touch wood, that'll never happen.
Yeah, touch wood, mate. Quick one. Any books on foraging for pets? I don't think so. To be fair, mate, I would just give. I would have given if I asked Lad D, I'd just give him human food.
And prepare for the cleanup.
Yeah, prepare for the cleanup. Yeah. Biggest prep and purchase regret. What have I? Biggest pet.
I'm just looking around about and trying to think of that as well.
I think
I don't have one, to be honest.
I think I'll go for me. I don't really, but I bought the US Army Alice packs with a metal frame on the back.
Yes.
I wanted one of them for years, and I managed to get one for a steal. I think it was about 100 quid, so it's probably not that bad in the grand scheme of things. But it's a modified
one. I had one of them.
Yeah, so but it was modified, mate. So it had a poncho or tarp pouch on the front, a big one. It had the 3 utility pouches on the front, and it had something. I think maybe it had something done to the straps. And it looked, I didn't
like it. I didn't think it very comfortable.
No, well that's it, mate. I bought it in the metal thing digs in my back, the metal frame, so it's useless for me. So to be fair, if someone wants a cheap Alice pack, you can buy it at the MOS me. So probably be there. Let's have a look.
Oh, actually, I've got one. See those Anchor Power solar panels
Oh yeah.
that I just did the review on? See, for £565, I wish I'd bought 3 of the All Powers ones at £180 instead. So yeah, I probably have got one, because it's shite that it's only got 3 legs instead of 4. So it works, it does what it says in the tin, but it's vastly overpriced. So yeah, that's mine. I have got one.
I would imagine, yes, he has many.
The kettle have caught fire.
In the heat, it will burst into flames with the heat. Do you have a funny prep purchase? Either you use or funny fail? I don't, but I'll tell you a funny story. Right, when I was in the army, so when we would set up a harbour area, it was always set up in a triangle. So you had 1 section, 2, 3, set up in a triangle, and at each tip of the triangle would be an entry or exit point. So that's where a stag point would be. And what we'd do sometimes was we would put one basher pole or one tart pole on each entry point, and then you'd run comms cord around it, which would just be paracord. So in the middle of the night, if you need to get to
tug lines,
yeah. So if you need to get to the stag point, you know where you go and that type of thing, yeah. Well, one night, so I was always usually section commander or 2IC, and I always did it for my section. So I've done that, mate, and I've put the paracord ran to the other one, blah blah. Right. So one night, mate, we've been bugged out, we've been bumped, so packing all the stuff. So I'm rolling my tarp away, and as my Bergen's all packed away, I've picked the basher pole up, and I've stashed it down the side, and I've threw it on my back. And Donny said to me, "Don't worry, I'll grab the other one on the way out." So Donny's ran down, picked that one up. But obviously, it's connected, isn't it, by a paracord? And usually, what you would do, mate, because you have a knife on you, you just cut the cord because it's just a paracord. But Donny hasn't bothered to fucking cut the paracord. So as I went one way, he's went the other, and I flew over, and the paracord has somehow got wrapped around my leg. And I'm screaming at Donny to cut the rope, but he can't hear me because obviously you've got gunfire going off, the smoke, there's all sorts going on, and he's pulling the paracord instead of cutting it, but he's pulling my knee up, and I'm going whack, knee myself in the face because he's pulling on the paracord. And it's not around my foot until I managed to get my knife out my pocket and cut the paracord. So that's my funniest fail. Not a funny prep one, just a funny fail for when I was in the army. To be fair, mate, the person you should have asked that for is Mike. Ask that to Mike tomorrow.
Can he compete against those?
Nah, because that could be a full episode on what the films that Mike's done. Power banks, tents, you name it.
What age did you decide that you wanted to join the military out of interest?
Oh, always, mate. Always. And I can't even tell you, mate, how far back from being like, if you ever look at photos of me, mate, when I was younger, it was all from like being, I don't know, from being a baby, mate, it's always like in an Action Man army suit, playing with Action Men, all the way through, mate. It's always, and I don't know why. I don't know where that's come from.
Did you go in at 16 as a junior soldier, or did you wait till you were 18 and go
to? Never. So I want to go in when I was 16.
Yeah.
And my mum said, not happening. Well, my mum and my dad. So the only other thing I wanted to be, mate, was a joiner. So I went and did an apprenticeship at time served joiner. So I did 4 years of that. So from 15 to 19, mate, because I went in when I was 19. From 15 to 19, mate, I was a joiner. So predominantly, mate, I did new builds. So where I lived back at the time in Thornaby, they knocked all the old council houses down, and they did like regeneration where they rebuild them all. And part of the contract back then was, if you wanted the contract to build them, you had to employ local lads on apprenticeships. So they had like plumbers, joiners, sparkies, bricklayers, and obviously I was one of the joiners, mate, so I hit it lucky. So I did that for 2-3 years, and then that scheme, it was finished, and then I jumped onto a private company, mate. It was building like, I think it was maybe 32 flats, new builds as well, 32 flats like Thornby Pool, and that's where I finished my apprenticeship, mate. And then I finished that. I went to uni. because my cousin convinced me. Fucking hell, don't know why I ever bothered doing that, but I dropped out after about 4 months of partying. I dropped down, mate, went to the Creed's office, and joined up when I was 19, mate. So I don't know, mate. I don't know where it come from. And like I say, mate, I've got like my great granddad was in the Somme, and my great uncle Norman died on D-Day. He was a paratrooper, but I've got no one I had no one to push me in it like Modern Family. Do you know what I mean?
So when you went to the careers office, I only went once when my apprenticeship was out. I was 21, and I knew before I went in that they would try and push into the roles that they had, not what you wanted to do. So I just stuck to my guns and said, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. And we'll phone you for any vacancies. Then the kind of the need or want to do it just disappeared. Plus, I don't really take too well to people shouting at me, to be honest. What was your experience when you walked in? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do, or did you get persuaded to a path?
To be fair, mate, the guy, I'll never forget his name. His name was Sergeant Mackenzie, and he was artillery. And he was a sound guy, mate. He was really, really sound. He wasn't pushy or anything like that. I think if he had been, I would have dug my heels in. But I got a really high score on the BARB test, and he pretty much said you can go wherever you want. And like I say, mate, I had no one to ask, and he was artillery. And I asked him, and he was like, "Yep, you can go if you want. If you still want to do something specialist, you've got." You had 7 RHA who were parachute trained, or you had 2-9 Commando who were obviously attached to their own Marines. You had 473 Special Observers. At the time, even the artillery were doing drones, doing missiles, and they just seemed like a load of options, mate, a load of different career paths to go down if you wanted to. And he was artillery, mate. So that was kind of how we ended up. With that, mate. I had no real strong desire, excuse me, to join the artillery before that.
So that path, did that then dictate that you went to Catterick first to do your stage 1, whatever it is, and then after that you go, I don't know where the artillery trainer does it, Pirbright or whatever? Or?
Yeah, Pirbright, mate. So you only go Catterick, mate, if you're infantry. So
right.
all of arms, mate, go to Pirbright. So if you're artillery and engineers, AGC, RLC, and you all get trained, mate, together. Like there's no separate distinction. You all get lumped in together. So you do 14 weeks Pirbright, and then that's when everyone splits off. So for me, mate, I went to Larkhill, and I spent longer, mate, at Larkhill than I should have, because you had to do several things, mate, to get out. So back then, the army put you through your driving test, and you had to pass it to be in the artillery. Because obviously you have to tow light guns, signals, all that type of stuff. So you had to pass your driving test. Then you had to do SDC conversion, which was off-roading a Land Rover. You had to pass that. You had to pass a signals course. You had to pass, if memory serves, some type of tactical bit. And then you had to... What else was there? There was something else. But because of the amount of people that were there at the time, must have been hundreds, mate, there at the time, there was obviously a backlog. So they were doing... There's always like an artillery boxing championship every year. And phase two always put people into it, put a team forward. So if you went and did it took 6 weeks. If you went and did the artillery championships, if you spent 6 weeks doing that, you then got fast tracks through all the other things. So in my brain, I thought, well, if I spend 6 weeks doing that, I'll get out quicker. And I did. It worked, because I would have been there a lot longer. So like I said, I did that boxing for 6 weeks, and then I got fast tracked through all the other courses. But I would have been there maybe 9-10 months, maybe even longer, bit if I hadn't done that.
So did you get to specialise after that in any particular part of the artillery, or was there a path that you wanted to follow, or just sort of went along with the flow?
Well, I went to 40 Regiment, which was over in Northern Ireland. I was there for like 2 years. The only goal, mate, that I had really was to go to Afghan. That was the only goal that I had. So when I got 40 Reg, they weren't going to Afghan anymore, and then we got disbanded with the defence review cuts. So when that happened, I said, just send. So when that happened, mate, I was also boxing for 40 Reg at the time. So when I went down to Larkhill again to do that same championship, but for a regiment this time, there was some lads there who I knew from phase 2 and the like, and they were in 39, which is the regiment that I went to. And I was talking to them, they're like, well, we're going to Afghan in March, and this would have been the August. So they're like, if you put a triple P in, come at 3.9, you'll come to our battery, then we'll go. So I put triple P in, mate, got to 3.9 in the September, went straight on pre-deployment training, and then went to Afghan in the March. That's how quick it was.
Wow. Was that many? I don't mean to pry. It's just that people have got an interest in the person behind the channel. So it's just, if I intrude, or feel free to tell me to fuck off. How many tours did you end up doing in Afghan?
Just the one, mate. Just the one. So I was I did from March till October. So 7 months we did. Just short, and we come back. And then when I come back, I got offered to go game with a different battery. And there was a few lads, mate, in that battery who hadn't been. And I knew how much of a goal it was a man to go. And I turned them down. I said, look, you've got 5 guys who are all capable of doing the job. I'm not going to take someone's spot when I know how hard it is to get there. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you want a medal. So I only did the one, mate, and then come 2015, I think we pulled out altogether, mate. I think especially my role did. So then there was no chance for me to go again anyway, mate. And then once Afghan was finished, that was kind of the beginning of the end for me, and I left because I wasn't doing anything.
I suppose it's hard to. I'm just surmising. I'm guessing when you practice for a Premiership game, and then you get the chance to play in the cup, to come back and put on the bench again, it'll be a hard one to swallow.
The worst thing about it was, mate, coming back. Because you had a good routine before, mate. It was pre-deployment training was 6 months. Then you went on tour for 6 months. Then you would come back, mate, and do adventure training, do fun stuff, light duty 6 months, and then you would go straight back into pre-DT. That was your routine, and it was a good routine. And by and large of it, when you're doing all that type of stuff, there's no bullshit, as opposed to when it's ordinary camp life and the bullshit's through, especially the artillery. So that was the worst thing, mate. And when we come back, it was always, can I go to the gym? No, hang about in case something needs doing. Well, can I go play rugby? No, hang about until something needs doing. Well, can I go on this course, do this? No, in case something is happening. My brain, it was going to mush. And I wasn't enjoying it at all. And then I tried to get out, mate, through... there was a couple of things, mate, that I got recruited for, and I went down and did some like access courses to get on. One was Op Samson, and then I passed the entry tests to be helicopter pilot, because they're crying out helicopter pilot. So I passed them, mate, and it was a case of, at the time, at the artillery, mate, it's extremely, extremely cliquey and a jealous, like, rank structure. And if they weren't capable of doing it, they didn't want you to achieve anything. So there was 2 or 3 times, mate, where I tried to leave and go down different routes, and there's always a case of the fax machine's broke, or your request to join this unit's been lost, or you'll need to submit it again. And I did that maybe 3 or 4 times. And maybe in hindsight, mate, I should have persevered. But I just had enough, mate, absolutely, and wrapped my tits in and signed off. And to be fair, mate, the killer was, I was in Germany on an exercise, and they'd said, we'll be back November 4th. And I was happy because I like bonfire night. So back November 4th, I was at very happy days. And then when we were over there, as it was getting close to November 4th, they were like, it's changed, it's out of our control, we need to stay an extra week. It's just been dropped on us. It is what it is. And I thought at the time, well, it is what it is, because it's happened to us loads of times. But because I was running the armory, I had to go to, because when you drive the weapons, mate, from the UK to Germany, you have to have a piece of paper with all the serial numbers on for every country you pass through. So you have to have maybe 4 or 5 sheets of paper. You have one for Holland, Denmark, Germany. You have maybe 3 or 4, yeah. So I went to RHQ to pick them up, and when I got them, the clerk said to me, "Oh, Andy, will you take these tickets back to your BC battery commander for the ferry for the guys on the way back?" So I was like, "Yeah, no dramas." So as I'm walking back, I look at the ferry tickets that are booked for a week later, and the ferry the date it was booked, mate, was before we left. So he
What
knew
an
before
absolute
we left.
wanker.
Yeah, so he knew before we left that, and then that was me done me out, kicked off, tickets were through in people's faces, screaming and shouting. There was all sorts of me, and I was so angry, mate. I was so angry, and there was a funny point one night. It was freezing over there, mate, in winter, and we had these big diesel generators that pump hot air in, and ours ran out. And I walked Faz up in the middle of the night. I said, "We're going to go and pinch the officer's diesel." And he was like, "You can't go get wrecked." I was like, "I do not give a fuck anymore, mate." So we went back in their tent, mate, and siphoned all the diesel, mate, out of their thing, and ran back around base, and I pumped all the diesel back into ours and power heater back on. They all woke up in the morning, mate, freezing, and we were laughing. But that was me. That was the beginning of the end for me. That, and once we got back, I signed off, mate, as soon as I got back, and then I left.
That was it. Time to go.
That was it, mate. Yeah, time to go, mate. That was it. And I've never looked back either, mate. Don't regret it. Don't miss it.
You've scratched your itch.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. What have we got here?
Sorry, I'll stop talking. I can't read the comments because I've not got another monitor up. So I don't know.
Have you got any preppers in your family? Have you, Bri?
My brother. So my oldest brother is very much of the same mindset as myself. Albeit I go to it in extremis. I tend to be a bit over the top, perhaps, as it's been mentioned. But he's in the same mindset.
I don't think I haven't got anybody who does, mate, apart from my partner, Leanne. She does with me. There's a couple of times, mate, where we've been out for tea with her family, and someone said, "Oh, you know, if anything happens, we'll just come to yours."
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, "Will you fuck? No one's coming to mine." So, but not. I mean, does my dad? I think my dad does, mate, really, but I think maybe that's because he's in his 70s. I think maybe that's more of a generational thing.
Yeah.
That they have. I don't think he would ever call himself one, but if you ever went there, he would definitely be. I think you would definitely say he is one.
My wife's been more supportive as times went on doing it, especially when COVID hit. And the last tranche of power banks that I spanked the best part of $4,000 on, she pretty much halved in for all of that this time round. So it makes a big difference when you don't get hindered, and even bigger difference when you get help and support. So I appreciate that.
In a game of supermarket sweep, but in a prep shop, where would you start first?
At the door and lock it so no other fucker could get in.
Where would I start?
Rat packs?
Yeah, probably, mate. Or it would probably be a split between food or a tarp.
Grab a Bergen, fling a tarp in it, and then fill it with rat packs.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I would probably do if I was doing supermarket sweep.
I suppose it depends what's on the shelves. If it's got lots of Gen 3 night vision sights on it, then obviously they're going in the top of the Bergen first.
Yeah, 100%. Hello, mate.
It's not good enough, Rob. I mean, what the fuck? What have you got better to do than a Saturday night and support Andy's first live? Scumbag.
Let's have a look at this.
Just kidding.
Can you tell us your UFO? You know what? I will.
Please.
I said earlier, Brian, I'm going to start a new channel tomorrow. One about ghosts and UFOs and all that type of stuff. But I'll tell people because I want to hear it. So when I was over there, mate, we were laid on a. So I fired. I did Exacta. So Exacta guided missile, and what it was it had a camera on the front, and you fired it, and then I controlled it with the joystick. And it was pretty cool. It was an F-16 joystick, so the joystick didn't move. It just registered the pressure you put on it. It was pretty cool. So I had a camera on the front, mate, and you would, as it would come in, you would follow it. You would have to pick a guidance path. You would pick the guidance path yourself, and you would follow it, and then you would take out the target, whether it would be a person or a vehicle, whatever it would be.
I've never heard it. That one, that's a new one in me, Exacta. I thought I knew most of the British Army kit too, and I've never heard it.
To be fair, mate, when I fired it, it was classed as secret. If you Google it now, if you Google it now, you can read all about it. It's pretty cool. I'll tell you some stuff after the stream. But yeah, so we were laid on a fight mission one day, and so when you're laid on a fight mission, mate, imagine a skyscraper, but you can't see the skyscraper, if that makes sense. And that, mate, would be your deconfliction zone. So nothing's allowed in that, because obviously you're firing a missile. So when you're there in the fighting mission, the coordinates for that deconfliction zone go out to all the helicopters, fast jets, whoever. So they know not to fly in that, because you're going to fire a missile, yeah? So we're laid, mate, on the fighting mission. The back hatch is shut. Guys, if you Google Exacta platform, you'll see what I mean. So the back hatch, mate, is shut, because when you fire it, you have to have every hatch shut, because it's 1,000,000 degrees in Afghan. So the back one was shut, mate, but the top hatch above us was open, where the missile pod was. So that was open. So as I'm typing stuff into the system, and Faz was next to me, who did like the stuff on the computer, she had a laptop you had to do stuff with. So as he was doing that, I'm typing in stuff into the computer and getting it ready. Faz says to me, "What's that above the launcher?" And as I'm typing in, I'm thinking, "What's what?" And he's like, "There's an aircraft above us." And I was like, "There can't be." And he's like, "Well," I was like, "Well, I can't hear anything." As I'm typing in, I was like, "There's no noise." So the can't be. He's like, "Well, what's that there then?" And when I looked up, mate, it was a solid metal sphere that was probably the size of a small car, maybe like a Nissan Micra or something like that size.
Wow.
So it was a substantial size, but it was purely smooth, mate, like a pure, like a metal ball bearing. That's what it was like. But it was hovering above where we were firing from. So I mean, to be fair, mate, it'll be in a logbook somewhere, in a radio logbook. So I got on the radio. I told Dom, I said to him, "Tell them there's something in the deconfliction zone we can't fire." So he radioed through me and he spoke to them. They're like, "There's nothing on radar, and there's nothing there. So just fire." And I was like, "But if we fire, it's going to hit that thing." And it probably wasn't right above us, mate. It was probably, from where I was looking, to be fair, I can't judge distance from where I was, but the missile would have hit me and it would have landed in the compound. That's how close it felt. So
was it daylight, nighttime, or?
No, it was daylight, mate. It was broad daylight.
All right.
It was absolutely broad daylight, mate. So like there was nothing obstructing the view. Like the sky was clear, absolutely clear. And it definitely wasn't the sun, mate. The sun was behind us. It was in front of, like I said, it was just there. So it was there, and I was like, "What the?" So there was like, "Just fire." So I was like, "Fine, we'll just fire the fucking thing." So what you have to do was that you have to plug in like one of those 10 pin connectors.
Yes.
You have to plug it in and then turn it around to lock it on, and then you would have to arm the missile. So I'll plug that in, mate, span it. As soon as I've clicked and armed the missile, that thing, mate, like span, like as if it was turning around, and then took off. So, in my opinion, mate, it clearly knew that we armed the missile, and then it fucked off. Just took away, mate. And it took away, mate, at some speed. I don't know anything, mate, that could move that fast. It was generally like it like space and time folded, just went poof, and it was gone. It was away. And then obviously we closed the hatch and we fired the missile. And the missile went.
Did you ever hear any more about it, or anything the MD come back to you about it? Or?
No. Nobody ever. And to be fair, mate, it's one of those things that when people have asked me about before, that now when I look back, I think, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? But then you forget, mate, that you're in a war zone. so we fired that missile because troops are in contact. So you fire one, and then another one gets ready. So you fire another one, and by the time that's done, mate, 2 hours down the road, you come back in, mate, and you have to write after action reports, and you have to do this brief and that debrief. And before you know, mate, it's the next day. And then another fight mission's down. It isn't until you come, to be fair, mate, and I hadn't thought about that for years, until years later, Faz randomly messaged me and said, one of the guys messaged me and said, do you remember that orb, that metal orb that we saw? And I was like, Jesus Christ, I'd forgot all about me just when things get in the way. But yeah, mate, and nobody ever. I mean, you would see weird stuff like that all the time. Like that was the only time we saw. That was the only time I only saw a UFO, I suppose, like a metal orb there. But we saw weird lights in the mountains. So I was based out of Mob Price, and you could see the mountains from where we were. And one of the Afghan locals, Mick, told me when I ripped into Bastion before I flew out, he said, be careful if you see lights in the mountains. And I was like, why? And he's like, if you follow them, never seen again. And he had an idea, mate, that white ones were family members. And then he said the bluey purple ones were the jinn, like the genie thing. Because that's big in their culture over there.
Their culture.
Yeah. So you see that, mate, all the time. Those types of things you would see in the mountains. But that was the only like UFO, mate, that I saw over there.
I've got a related story to that. 2010, my mother had passed away. Funnily enough, Christmas Day, she popped her clogs. And when she passed away, we'd got money basically as part of her inheritance. So I bought a caravan, this big 26-foot hobby caravan, pikey special, right? And I wanted an awning for it. So we were on the internet, and there was a guy down in Scottish Borders selling this awning. So we drove down, picked it up, driving home. It's about 9 o'clock at night. And see, like a rank chevron, like the triangle.
Yeah.
If you imagine that, but as a series of lights pulsing towards the tip of the chevron.
Oh yeah.
And then when they get to the tip, they go out, and then they start again at the edge, only it's lower to the ground. So it was like a pulsing series of lights going like this, then this, then this, and then it translated to a horizontal position. I mean, it was pitch black. It was pitch black.
Yeah.
And then it moved along. Because it was night time, it was very hard to get a reference of size or scale.
Yeah.
But it wasn't particularly fast, but it was just pulsing like that towards the point. And then it translated to horizontal position, so you didn't see the light pulsing, but it was just lit, and then it moved along. And I'm saying to my wife, kids in the car and everything, a big stupid fucking awning in the back of the Zafira. I says, oh, it's went around behind those trees. Let's go and follow it. No, Dad. They're all freaking out in the car. And but that it's funny to hear about the orb, and it seems to be more common than what I would have thought then, that this sort of shit's out there.
Yeah, well, like Ginger said there, mate, a Mosul orb, and I didn't like these footage, mate, of very similar to what I saw, and it's pretty much just going through a camp, and it's going past people. Like, I'm thinking maybe thermal footage or something like that, and it's going past people, and people aren't even reacting to it. So it must have some type of camouflage or some type of thing on it.
Do you ever listen to George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell on their Spotify channel, Weaponized?
Yes, I do, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good series. I follow them very closely.
Yeah, they're pretty good, mate, with the stuff they come out with. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So look, so the Mosul orb, mate, wasn't until 2016. So I saw that, mate, 3 years earlier. So I was talking to Jin, mate, on Discord as well about this, and there was a piece of kit there, mate, as well, that was made by Lockheed Martin, believe it or not, and it was sat on the base that we were at, and the capability that, so it was designed, mate, to, if somebody fired a rocket off, somebody fired mortars or artillery, if side that, it could, the radar would pick it up and it would give you the coordinates of where it came from.
Oh, counter battery radar kind of thing.
Yeah. But the range on it was made no sense for it to be there, if that made sense. Because there was no one around us. And there was no, like, and that kit, mate, could have been used at some highly kinetic place that was getting hit every day, and it would have made more sense. But it was just sat in the compound, cordoned off by itself, with one dude running it. And it wasn't until I thought years later, I was like, what was the purpose of that being there? Because we're getting attacked. Not a single person, mate, was hitting us. Do you know what I mean? So, and it was sat there. So I always think, was it there to detect what I saw? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I suppose it depends what their standard. You'll know. I don't know. But I don't know if it's standard procedure to have an artillery fire base counter battery radar there so that you can do counter battery fire if you're getting hit? I don't know. So
yeah, it would
is that normal?
It made sense for it to be in another base, but we were based with the Navy SEALs, and we had external security outside the base, and we were in the middle of nowhere. Nobody was hitting us. I didn't get attacked a single time in the 7 months when I was there. So to me, mate, it just, maybe that's being me 2 and 2 making 5, but I thought that would have made more sense, mate, being in Lash or being in somewhere that was getting hit every day. You know what I mean? Rather than just be sat in a base where it wasn't
new
doing
kit or something. They maybe tried it.
No, mate, it wasn't new kit. It was an old piece of kit, really. Well, not all, but it wasn't brand new. You know, it wasn't like a brand new high piece tech that we're trying out. It's something that had been there for a while.
Aye. It wasn't like testing it out or anything, no.
No. It was a well established piece of kit.
Aye. Interesting.
Everybody loves that story. I didn't think everyone would be that interested in that story, but everyone's interested in UFOs these days, aren't?
No, that's an interesting one because everybody's got a story, which is a surprising thing. Everybody has, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have encountered weird shit that they can't explain.
Yeah. So look at this. Sounds like maybe Lockheed had a dog whistle. You know, that could be true. Could have been, yeah, very true. Could have been.
That's interesting.
To be fair, mate, you know, as well, I thought as well, because that weapon at the time when we found it was secret, nobody knew it was there. So even when the Navy SEALs mate come round for a visit, when I told them what it was in the cookhouse, they were like, "You don't have that." And I was like, "Well, Dukes, I fire it." And they were like, "You don't, because we don't have it, because the Americans didn't have it." And they're like, "If we don't have it, you don't have it." And I was like, "Well, feel free to come down for the compound, and you can have I'll take you for a tour type thing." And yeah, I'll bring you down. And so they didn't even know it existed, mate. So then that sometimes I think was there because it was a shiny weapon that nobody else had, and they were checking it out. You know what I mean?
I've literally never heard it.
Yeah, so pure speculation, mate. I know this sounds like a mad thing to say, but the feel that I got off it, I know it's a mad thing to say, but the vibe I got off it was like a recce vehicle. It's like a reconnaissance craft. That's what it felt like.
Could be maybe something the Americans have got, some sort of Gucci weird shit they've got. I don't know, but it's it's interesting enough that see if you were doing that as a channel,
yeah,
you'll get more hits than you ever will with prepping. I know that much.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know I would. Miss Wormier. Definitely going after. Yeah, you do. Like I said, the offer was there. I've seen plenty of weird stuff. If you want me to jump on and do a live stream with you, the offer's there. You know, I'll happily do it for you.
I don't think Strange Encounters in the Ghostly Pink Palace in Hamburg is going to count as a ghost story, mate.
Brian, if an alien tried to probe you, would you let them if they charged every power supply you have?
Fuck her up,
fair,
Tom.
To be fair, mate, that question, Evil Girl, would be better posed to Mike, because none of them will be charged.
You've got 20 minutes to stop that probing.
One off Suburban Prepper. Andy, don't know. With you as an Afghan vet, how do you feel about the very quick total withdrawal and what happened after in terms of... I mean, to be fair, mate, I think... I don't want to speak for all veterans, mate, but the ones I talk to, we all have a similar feeling, mate. To be fair, mate, it's the main feeling, mate, is sadness. It's sadness about it all, especially for the 20 years we spent over there. There was a couple of guys who died when I was over there. weren't part of my battery, mate, weren't part of my detachment, but they were from the camp that I was in, which hit everyone. So to just up sticks, mate, and leave, and then for it to go back to be fair, mate, it's worse now than it was before we went in, because now you've left them with Black Hawk helicopters, they've got Bradleys, they've got tanks, they've got ammunition, they've got everything, mate, that the Americans had pretty much. Now the British, mate, are extremely tight, so I guarantee, mate, we left nothing over there. every single scrap, mate, of stuff that we took, mate, I guarantee would have been brought back. There's no one on this planet, mate, someone signed something that isn't coming back. But it's just sadness, mate, really, with the whole thing. I mean, especially when when you're over there and you would see how good of an impact it had on the kids and them going to school and all that type of stuff, which was a good part of being over there. And now you go back, mate, you see the girls aren't allowed in school anymore, and you see it's just sadness, mate. Really, sadness, and probably if I spent more time thinking about it, mate, I'd probably be quite angry about it, to be honest with you. But predominantly made sadness with the whole thing, especially with the lads who died over there. Whether you believe it was right or wrong to be there, there was an awful lot of lads who, I suppose at the time, mate, me included, believed in being over there. I don't know whether I believe in that, mate, anymore, to be honest with you. You know, the whole giving yourself up for a higher cause, I think all that's gone now. But predominantly, mate, sadness, really, for what happened, and especially the lads who had to go out and deal with that, because it was a shit show. Like the poor lads, mate, who had to go out and deal with that at Kabul, or Kandahar, airport, and then expecting young 18-year-old lads to choose who lives and who dies. That's a heavy burden, mate, to put on young lads. Like, you know, deciding who you let through a checkpoint and who you wouldn't. Poor lads, mate, that must be some struggle for them. So yeah, mate, so sadness, but really on that one. Like I say, guys, you ask me whatever you want about military career. I'm not precious about it. I'll answer whatever you want me to. We all got shafted. We did. Yeah, we did. We all got shafted. Very true. What else have I got starred? So yeah, so on that other channel, mate, I'm going to do, like I say, mate, I'm going to do UFO stuff. I'm going to do ghost stuff, shadow beings, all that type of stuff, all that weird stuff that I've seen and experienced.
Do you follow a guy, Randall Carlson, by any chance?
Yes, I do, mate. Yeah.
We're going to go on so well.
Yeah. The Hunger Dryas guy.
Yeah. Jimmy Cassetti or Corsetti.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Jimmy Cassetti. Yeah.
Yeah. The Serpent Brothers.
Yeah, I watch them all, mate.
Brothers of the Serpent.
To be fair, I spend more time watching that than I do prepping stuff.
Yeah, I go to sleep listening to them. So
yeah,
it'll be Graham Hancock, Robert, Randall Carlson, Jimmy Corsetti, Brothers of the Serpent. They're pretty much the go-to ones.
You're stuck in a nuclear bunker. Who's the worst celebrity to be stuck with? Who would have you doing the Captain Oates?
What's a Captain Oates?
I don't know.
Is that some sort of weird sexual position? Because I've got questions. I'm not going to lie.
The worst celebrity to be stuck in a bunker with. Is a politician a celebrity? Because I'd say pretty much any MP.
I really need clarification what a Captain Oates is, because that's going to qualify who wants stuck in the bunker and what qualifies as a bad thing. Because if it's a euphemism for getting teabagged, then the list's going to change somewhat.
Worst celebrity to be stuck with? I'm trying to think of someone who I can't stand celebrity-wise, who really annoys me.
Mike. He knows I don't mean that. He's our friend, and he takes it in good spirits.
Here we go. Captain Oates was with Captain Scott. He was the one who walked into the snow saying, "I may be gone some time." All right, okay.
I'm disappointed.
I mean, to be fair, mate, if you were stuck in a bunker, well, Mike, it'd be even worse for you, because he wouldn't have any charged power banks, and the ones that you
took, sleeping bag,
and the ones that you took and they were charged would come back pit wrapped. Yeah.
Would be soaked. There'd be no sleeping bag. The power banks would be flat. I'd get electrocuted with my power banks. Aye, and the list. And the cooker explodes. Other than that, would be fine.
Did that power bank still work? The one that was piss wrapped?
Yeah, it was fine, but it was funny, and it was a shame because he looked so sad handing it over. He handed it over, and it was just forlornly dripping water out the bottom.
Yes, I will. I'll do a post on the channel, guys, for where you can find it. It's called Shadows and Sightings, but I haven't put
Nice.
videos up there. So I will share it on my channel tomorrow when I set a video out.
Any channel when there's going to be some probing on it, I'll be watching.
You win the Euro Millions. What's the first thing you buy apart from land? Yes, we know, but yeah, I tell you what, I would buy, mate. And it's not even that much, really. If I won the Euro Millions, I'd buy one of those freeze drying machines that you go on about.
I'd love one of them.
That's what I would buy.
I mean, I'd get one, but she's a Disney fanatic, so she drags us to Florida every other year. Apart from land, I think that would be the first thing, though.
What, land?
Yeah, when you've got land, you've got so much more options to whatever you do.
Yeah, land would be the thing, mate, wouldn't it?
If I could afford land, it would open up a whole lot more possibilities for prepping and just a better lifestyle in general, I think.
Yeah. In fact, there you go. I hope that I've just sent you that there. Wait there. Copy link. I'll try that one as well.
Don't think I'll be able to see it because all I'm seeing is the window. What's it on?
Sorry, mate. I'll drop you it in Discord, mate, later.
Ah, cool.
It's just like mate to the new channel. That's all.
Ah, nice one.
Anything else on here? Motorhome. You've already got a motorhome, Brian, haven't you?
Camper van. Motorhomes for posh gets. They're proper up their own arsehole. See when you're on a campsite, when they've just spent 80 grand in this fiberglass shell, and I mean, we looked at one. We were just in a campsite just outside Ayr, and lovely couple, Guy Charlie and his missus, and they come over to look at the van. Oh, that's really good, and she's giving him earache because, unbeknownst to us, they just bought their van, and she's like, "He built that. He built that. Why don't you build something?" And he built that, and so they took us into their van, and I think they paid about 65 grand for it, and it looked like somebody had robbed the fucking interior out it. And I'm like, oh my god, it was just fucking empty. It was a shit layout and everything, and they'd spanked all this money on it because at that time during COVID or just after COVID, people were getting hosed for motorhomes and camper vans right, left, and centre. And I was trying to put a brave face on it, saying, "Well, you know, you could do this, you could move that, and try this and try that." And then she's giving him earache. No, he's fucking useless. He couldn't hammer a straight nail. That's why we had to get somebody else to build it.
You know, when we were at the Scottish meet.
Yes.
And that Airstream pulled in.
That's lovely.
I was like, I was hoping that was somebody for the prep meet. I was hoping they were going to rock in with that Airstream. Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah, I wanted to go in, mate, and have a look, but it reminded me of The Accountant, the film.
That's a brilliant film.
Yeah, good, mate. And I was hoping, mate, that they were going to come in, but it was just some randomer, wasn't it?
See, to be honest, most people on campsites, they're fairly approachable, and they'll show you around it. They'll quite happily show you around it. But it's like skiers and snowboarders, camper vans and motorhomes.
Yeah. To be fair, mate, that campsite was quite good.
It was. And you've signed up for the Midlands one, haven't you?
Yeah, mate, I'm there. So I'm there, mate, on the Thursday night, the Friday night, Saturday night.
We'll be down on the Friday. It's about a 5 and a bit hour drive for us, so probably about 1 o'clock or something, mate. We'll see you there.
Yeah. To be fair, because I'm going down the Thursday, so I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know whether that was a good idea now.
You'll still be pissed by the time I get there.
Yeah, I probably will be bad, to be fair, to get through it, yeah.
Is Hawkins going to that one?
No,
or is he in holiday? No.
to be fair, mate, GTHQ let him go to 1 meet a year. So I would imagine he's only going to do the Scottish meet, mate, once a year.
That was funny. Hiding for the camera, it was really funny.
It's funny, mate, wasn't it? Where are they? Where are what? Do you mean the meets, mate?
The meets.
The meets. The one in the Midlands, mate, there is at Church Farm, which is it near Derby, Bry? Round about that area, isn't it?
Down that kind of neck of the woods.
Yeah. That's the next one, mate, which is 7th
of
August through to the 12th, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah.
Me, Brian, and Mike are going. We'll be there. And then I don't know what's on, mate, after that.
I don't think there's many more for the rest of the year. I think the winter might get the best of us.
There might be one in October, maybe.
Right.
But I think that's all the way down to Stevenage, mate, so you've got no chance of going to that.
I think there's a Cornwall one, but I don't know when it is.
That Cornwall one, mate, is in between now and the one we're going to.
Right.
I think it's maybe the 25th of July-ish, around about then.
It's a trek. It's a trek to get there for me. It's big time, and the roads are shit.
I mean, it would have took me, mate, 7 hours to get the one in Wales.
I'd be about the same. I was working at 8 or 9.
Yeah. And I'm just not doing it, mate. So, I mean, maybe one year, mate, if people really want me to go, maybe I'm mooch down. But especially when I'm going to the Midlands one, mate, in beginning of August.
Yeah. Well, we're away on holiday in September as well, so there was a limit to how much more time off I can get at the moment. So, yeah.
Is the missus going to the Midlands?
Yeah, yeah. She's coming along to make sure I don't do any of that stuff that annoys her, like smile and shit.
To be fair, mate, it was a good laugh, the Scottish one. Especially
I enjoyed it.
Especially when I was messing about with that tarp, and Hawkins was giving it 10 minutes at me, giving me abuse. So I pulled my phone out, pretend like I was recording. Never seen him move so fast.
He must have about 60 kids in our country, doesn't he want us to see?
He must do, mate. He must do. I've never known anything like it, mate. He puts Jason Bourne to shame, that man. Honestly.
And then Mike set the fire. I don't know how many people are watching the now and who was there, but Hawkins has got a lovely tent, an expensive tent.
Yeah, it is.
And then Mike decided to strike up a fire to cook his dinner, and it was about 2 meters away from it. And then somebody tied one of the fly sheets on his tent pegs.
Yeah, that was me. That was me, mate. That's what he's kicking off for, because it was me who did it.
That was funny.
You have to bug out. You have to have time for one last meal home. Mince and dumplings. That is my favourite meal ever. So it'll be mince and dumplings for me.
At the moment, but I'm going on a health kick. At the moment, it would be a layer of chips, salt, fried rice, salt, chicken curry, and some more salt. Totally unrelated. I've got high blood pressure.
Oh, fuck. You know what
I'm starting.
I was thinking the other day about when you brought all that stuff back from Florida. Obviously, in last. Was it this May? Was it this year? Was it last May?
Last September we were there.
Yeah, so but anyway, mate, I did New York, New Orleans, and Nashville, didn't I?
Yes.
Not once, mate. Not once did I think of doing anything like that. not once. And so you're thinking, I was like, what an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's me.
I was too busy eating catfish, mate, and feeding alligators and going to plantations and stuff.
I didn't even come back with as much as a set of pants in my case, mate. I dumped all my clothes and filled it with freeze-dried food. And her case as well. She got to keep some of her clothes, and I basically dumped all of mine. I don't even. I come back with a pair of trainers. I think that was about it. I had a pair of trainers left, maybe a pair of Rogue socks that I'd forgotten about, and the rest of it was just tins. And to be honest, we're going again in September, so I expect it to be rinse and repeat and more of the same. It's such a price difference. It really is huge, the price difference.
Yeah, crazy, mate, isn't it? You know what it is as well, mate? I've wanted for ages as well a US Marine Corps tarp. You know, the Marpat ones. I've one of them, and the only army surplus show I went into was one in New York, and he didn't have any. But I got some few bits and bobs in there.
Well, if there's any over in Orlando, where I'm, so we'll be staying in Disney's All-Star Movies, but we generally piss about. So I'll be going about to buy some freeze-dried shit anyway. So if there is one over there that's got it, I'm happy to go nip along, get it for you, bring it back.
Oh, legitimate. Thank you very much.
I'm wanting one day at the range as well, again. So we did a day on the range last time, and it wasn't that good, to be honest. I've got to admit, I've shot in better places. The clue was in the name, I suppose, Machine Gun America, and you rock up and you've got like a big menu of firearms that you can choose from. So I'm like, what have I not shot yet? So I was like, I picked 4 of these, and my daughter's partner was with me. So we go in, and there's a guy standing next to you. He's handing his holster in case you do anything stupid and you're getting shot in the head. Basically, that's in case anybody doesn't know what it's like in Florida if you're a tourist shooting. The guy's not there to help you to train you. He's there to shoot you in the head if you do something stupid, like point a gun at him. So don't do anything stupid.
He's there to do damage limitation.
Yes. So I've got, I'm sure it was a suppressed M4, and he passed me the gun, didn't even get to load it, cocked it, and then he reaches over and hits the fire selector to auto.
Oh, what?
And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, okay, man, let's go. I'm like, so I'm just trying to fire bursts.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting away, and my daughter's partner's next door. He'd an AK, and he's shooting the birds, right? He's shooting the ceiling. And I'm thinking, this is bollocks. That it wasn't like, because he'd never fired a gun in his life, and there was no tuition. There was nobody's right. It's not a broomstick. You're not sweeping the floor. Right? You know, just there was no training element in it for him at all. It was just here's a gun. Here's 30 rounds. Have at it. 3 seconds later, you're empty. So I'd fired 1.5 mags out of an M4, and then he's like, "Oh, you've shot before?" I was like, "Yeah, once or twice, mate." And then I fired a couple through an AK, and I'm like, "Mate, do you want to just stick it onto semi? Because this is pish." No. Just relax and have fun. This is pish. This isn't fun. This isn't shooting.
Yeah. You have the chance of a free bug out vehicle. What sort would it be?
Overlander.
I was going to say, mate, I'd have something like that.
Have you seen the man ones? They use that British Army have got a lot of them, and they've got the demountable bodies on them. Something like that as a base vehicle, and you build your own Overlander on the back. Yeah.
I mean, push come to shove. To be fair, mate, I'd have a pickup truck as well. One with a cap on the back. I'd even have that. I'd have a pickup truck now, mate. It's my daily car. I love pickup trucks. I should have really been American, mate, anyway. You know what, mate? I had an opportunity as well to transfer across to the US Marines when I was in Afghan. And I showed you.
Seriously?
Yeah, I should have done it, mate. Biggest regret of my life. Only regret of my life.
I didn't know they were allowed to do that. That'd be interesting.
So I went up to Leatherneck, mate, which was the American side of Camp Bastion. And I went up there by the Gorilla Box because they were in the American PX shops. So I went up there to buy one, and the stuff in there, mate, was complete. Like, it was $90, mate, for an iPad. I think it was maybe at the time. Like, it was ridiculous, mate. The cheap, like how cheap the stuff was in there. Well, anyway, I came out, and there was a shop there, mate. I'm sure it was called Coffee Joe's or Joe's Coffee or something. And I went in there, mate, to get a drink. And the girl behind the desk said, when I said how much, she went, "Oh, it's free." She was like, "In America, the coffee chain puts $1 on everyone's cup of coffee. So out here, everything's free." And they treat the British, mate, like they're American. They were great over there. So I had this free cup of coffee, mate, anyway, or whatever it was, a smoothie, whatever. And I went outside, mate. They had like picnic benches. And because you had to wait for the bus. Like, the buses did rounds about Bastion, mate. Leatherneck's huge. So I was sat there waiting. So there's a US Marine guy across from me, and I just started chatting to him. We were having a bit of crack on that. And I've got an affinity, mate, for the US Marine Corps. I don't know why. I just love them, right? And so we got chatting, and he was like, "Oh, you can do, if you're on the British Army." I don't know how true this was, right? so disclaimer. But he said if you moved across to the US Marine Corps from the British Army, you would get a $50,000 golden handshake for transferring across. So I was like, Jesus Christ. He was like, yeah. He was like, if you want me to, I can have a word with my gunnery sergeant, because he was in charge of recruitment. That. So anyway, this happened right, mate, in the space of like 2 minutes. Is how quick it was, right? So this gunnery sergeant comes over and starts talking to me, and he was sound as well. And he was like, the problem you've got is, mate, he was like, you have to, it takes 6 months, mate, to be a US Marine, was what he said, yeah, from like getting in America, paperwork, through boot camp, and that would take 6 months, yeah. But he said, and once you do that, you then become American citizen, so you'd have American passports.
Oh, wicked.
But he said the problem is you need like a green card visa, work visa thing. But he said the American government can't sponsor you. It's some type of red tape. So he said you need someone inside America to sponsor your visa for 6 months. And then once 6 months done, it won't matter because you'll be an American citizen then. And I was like, right, okay. So I was like, well, who's going to sign it for me? And he's like, I don't know. He said, I can't do it because technically I've recruited you. Then this corporal, mate, I've spent, 10 minutes talking to him. He's like, I'll sign it for him. I was like, Jesus Christ. I won't even finish my touring. I'll be away for the... And then I didn't go through with it, mate, and that's probably my biggest regret, mate, ever that.
I think that's a conversation that you were probably going to end up standing waiting in a bus that never came, or waking up with your arse cheeks in a bucket of ice.
Yeah, that's true, mate. Yeah, very true. Okay, last time bullying Mike at a prep meet. What would you do just to mess with him while he's pitching his hands? You know the best thing about this is, right, evil girl, you wouldn't have to do anything. You wouldn't have to do anything. He would do something himself, and you could just sit back and watch. But what would I do if I was going to do it? Well, he loses his own sleeping bag, so I wouldn't have to do anything there. His tent leaks, so I wouldn't have to do anything there.
Cooker explodes.
Cooker explodes. You know what? I'd probably do something mad, like cut all his guard lines. But I would cut them all, so there's maybe like 2 mil left on the guide rope. So when he pulls it out and pegs it in, it might go in. And in the middle of the night, you'll just see a ping, ping, ping. all these guide ropes flying about.
See, when he watches this back, he's going to be so pissed.
He won't watch it back, mate. He's too busy. He's too well. Fuck knows what he's going through down there.
They've got the weather. It looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, it looks. To be fair, mate, it looks too much.
Toasty. The beers will go down too easily in a situation like that.
Aye. Well, in Afghan, mate, the hottest I ever got was 59 degrees.
I couldn't cope with that.
59 degrees, mate, it was.
I just sizzle like a big fat sausage.
Yeah. That was only one day. One day it hit 59 degrees in the height of summer. That was the warmest I ever got. And then it hovered around maybe the low 50s.
Oh, that's practically chilly, yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing was, mate, so when the lads arrived in October, or maybe the back end of September, beginning of October, the lads came to relieve us. And we were cutting about, mate, with like softy jackets on and woolly hats. And to be fair, mate, it was probably high 20s. But when you're used to that heat, so they all jumped off the helicopter, mate, and they're coming down to us to do the handover. And then they all had like shorts and flip-flops and that on. And they're like, what on earth are you doing? We were like, it's fucking freezing here. That's obviously that warm during the thing.
So when you were on base like that, I used to cut about with, was it Osprey when you were in for the body armour?
Yeah.
I used to wear that on base all the time and all that heat and plates in it and stuff.
Nah, so it was always, so the way we had it was, mate, we knocked up these, they're quite popular now, but we knocked them at the time, you know, like a wooden stand where you could hang your body armour on your helmet. We had one of them, mate, and it was, you always had to have a rifle, and you always had to have a rifle with your rifle with you, and always had to be loaded. That was non-negotiable. But the helmet and your armour, mate, we kept in the compound. And then once a month, mate, we used to put all of it on to go down to the range and do some drills and that down the range, make sure your rifle was still zeroed, all that kind of stuff. But by and large, mate, we didn't, like I say, mate, we were just combat support. So we were in the back of the wagon firing missiles, so we didn't have to wear it that much, really.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of weight to carry about.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair, mate, I think maybe it was close to when you had everything on, mate. It was over 2 stone.
Fucking hell.
So it was over £28. Because if you think about, mate, you had the Osprey plates, mate, would go like there, and then they would it was a full body plate, really. They were great stuff. So you had that, mate, front and back. Then you had side plates in.
So the Sappy plates.
So the ones, yeah, like that, mate, look like that, yeah. They were a lot thicker than that, though.
Yeah, they're TVU specials.
Aye. And then we had, those. Have you seen those little ECBA plates that they used to wear? That just used to fit over your heart back in the day.
Right. Well, that's the old ones that are a bit, that size. Yeah, I've seen them.
Well, they made the Osprey, mate, to fit them in the side, so you had them as side plates.
The Sappy side plate ones.
Yeah, and then obviously you had all your magazines loaded with ammo that was weight. Then you had water. Then you had all the other bits and bobs. So your helmet, it would have been, mate, about just over, probably about £30, so just over 2 stone. When you had all that lot. Yeah, and then
I found surprising. Sorry, on you go, mate.
Well, and then you think, mate, the lads who got on the ground, who had day sacks, ECM countermeasures, Valens, extra ammo, those lads, mate, must have been in clip when they left the compound there out on the ground. I mean, to be fair, mate, when I was over there as well was when Lee Rigby got killed as well. That's when I was over there, and we were out there as well, mate, with the Fusiliers. We were out there with this battalion when that happened. Go on, mate. What were you going to
say? Honestly, I can't remember now. Because another question. Oh, that was it. What I found quite surprising was you would see on some footage that a lot of the British soldiers were carrying in a leg holster. They had a pistol, which I didn't think that was common for the. I don't know if that was an Afghan thing. They decided to issue sidearms as backup.
A lot of the infantry lads, mate, had pistols. If memory serves. We only had 2 pistols, mate, and they were for the CP officer had one, and then somebody else, mate, in the CP, the command post, had one, and that was because they were either up at the tent getting crypto for the radios, or they were here, there, and everywhere, and it was easy for them, mate, to walk about with the pistol than it was to lug a rifle about all day. But we were never issued pistols, mate. To be fair, mate, they had SIG P226s.
Yeah,
that's what they had when I was in Afghan, and then when I ran the armory, mate, in 2014 till I left, I had Glock 17s in the armory, and that's. I mean, I had what did I have? I had maybe 35 Glock 17s in the armory. Don't think I signed them out once. Never used them. Don't even know why they bothered issuing them us, because we never fired them. Yeah, never fired them, and the lads would love to, mate. Lads would love to get in the range with them. You know what I mean?
Didn't we even get any range time with them for training? No,
nothing, mate. No.
Wow, that's shocking.
The cool thing was as well, mate. Like back then as well, you're allowed to use the armory for your own weapons. So there's a couple of cool shotguns in there that lads used to use, and they used to get put in the armory. But yeah, I think I fired that Glock 17, mate, once. I think that was it.
Now it's so changed that. I mean, you could get a rip-off look-alike one that you can legally hold in your Section 1, but it will have a through barrel with a fake suppressor over it and a foregrip here to take it over the 23 inches so that it's a pistol carbine. So although pistols are technically banned, you can have them over a certain length. So if you got like a 357 Taurus, long barreled pistol with the foregrip on it, I mean, they look absolute dog shit. And I've seen a few. It's the way it is on your ticket just now. If you've got a pistol on your Section 1, you can't lend it or let anybody else even fire it in the range unless they've got a Section 1 on a pistol on their ticket.
Oh, right, wow.
But you can let them fire your rifle. Yeah. Which is really messed up. They're talking about taking suppressors off the ticket now, so you don't need it. You don't need to put a suppressor on your ticket.
Oh.
So we'll see if that happens.
I think I've called me with questions, I think.
Done up. That's not bad, an hour and 40 minutes.
I'm not bad, mate, for my first one.
Just went well. Really interesting stuff. I'll need to pick your brains more on the... I'll be interested to see the spooky probing stories. That's going to... I'll be interested in that one as well as this. I watched the tent peg video you did. How many I'm on? Well, this has been since the start of Andy's video. Does that answer your question? But don't worry, I'm now onto the backup can. I'd allocated enough time that it's a 4-can podcast, right? So you're not under any pressure, but this is my last can of Pepsi.
What were you going to say about 10 pegs?
Yeah, I watched the video. That was really, really surprising. Because I know Roger had brought them out at the Scottish meet, and he was showing the cups, and it looked pucker stuff.
Yeah.
But to actually see it getting tested and the grinding, you could see clearly the white sparks. Yeah. When you did the video.
I mean, I had that angle grinder, mate, as well, and that Bosch distance on it. I had that. I got that 10 peg, and I thought it was going to be a funny video, mate, because I expected the angle grinder to just slice straight through the 10 peg. And I thought the 10 peg was going to go flying. I generally did. And when I started doing it, I was thinking, why on earth isn't this going through the 10 peg? And then when I did the cup, I thought the same again. I thought I was just going to end up with like a cup in half, and the lid in half. And to be fair, mate, it barely did any damage to it, you know.
I thought that looked brilliant. I was really surprised at the price point, because I was expecting it. I've ordered some stuff from Temu, and as the claw hammer showed what I thought of it, it wasn't the best of quality.
Yeah.
And yet I've ordered other stuff, and it's been brilliant.
I bought that Boundless Voyage mug, mate, that little 350ml one.
Aye.
I bought that because you could buy that on Amazon. So I thought, if it's on Amazon for like, what was it, 60 quid or something, or was it 50 quid, and it cost me a tenner on Temu, I was like, I'll give it a go for a tenner. Do you know what I mean? If I slice through it on for a YouTube video, it'll be a funny video. Do you know what I mean? Lo and behold, it held up.
It was surprising me. I couldn't believe it. I was literally expecting to see the tent peg, and you've either it flying away and laughing, or smashing a window, or fuck.
No,
eye patch time.
It wasn't. Even if that didn't happen, when I started using the angle grinder, I thought it was going to be orange or that type of sparks, and it was going to be some type of, you know, some mongrel steel or something like that.
Chocolate tent pegs.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, and I was like, Jesus. To be fair, I actually tell the video, mate, I was shocked. I generally thought it was just going to slide straight through it.
I'd ordered for my helmet in the loft. I've not got it in here, or I brought it out. That's got the night vision slide attachment for your monocular.
Oh yeah.
So I can't remember what it's called, but it was a year ago I bought it. But to buy the original one, it's like 300 odd quid. The bloody site didn't even cost me that. So I'd looked on Temu and I'm like, right, okay, I'll buy that. It's probably going to be made in Chongchang province, made out of chocolate. I'll put it on, it'll snap. Absolutely no problem at all. Boom, stuck it in the slide, tightened the Allen keys, put the monocular on it. Yep, rocking about. And I thought, right, I'll jump up and down a bit. So that must have sounded really good downstairs when my fat arse with a helmet on is jumping up and down in a loft to see if it's going to fall off. But touch wood, it was okay. So there is some good buys.
Yeah, I mean, I've bought a little table for the prep and meet that we're going to win in August. I've brought a little seat.
Is it as little as Barry's chair?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, mate. It's not that bad. Poor bloke.
That must have been on Temu you bought that. That was funny. That was really good.
I mean, to be fair, the whole reason why, like I said, mate, I jumped on Temu because of Roger and Rustin that saying of all the bargains they got on Temu, and I thought I'm going to try this titanium stuff out and see what it is. And then I went into outdoors, mate, because I wanted, you know, that spoon I showed in the video. Yeah, I wanted to like log out the spoon for eating rations and stuff. And I went in there, mate, and it was like 12 to £20. for one of those long-handled spoons.
Yeah.
And I was like, get fucked, I'm not paying that. So I went on Temu, mate, and I found like mate, that spoon was £3.
That's a bargain. I mean, everything that you bought there was a good price.
The only thing, mate, that was expensive was the 10 pegs.
What did they come in at out of interest again?
£18.
How many did you get though?
8.
That's not bad. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that really is pretty good.
And there were 20cm ones.
Aye.
So pretty decent size pegs.
It's not like it was 6 inches in man time, you know.
But I must admit, that video went the total opposite way to what I thought it was going to go.
You didn't end up in casualty with a bit of chocolate titanium coloured spray painted metal in your eye.
No, no, mate, never. I mean, in that video, mate, you can see me take my glasses off, can you? Because that's what I thought. I thought this is going to fly off and hit me in the face.
You do know if Mike could have done that, the grinder would either have caught fire, the tent peg would have caught fire, or he'd have bit of the grinding feel in his head. Poor Mike. He knows we don't mean it, and he takes it in good spirits. He's a good lad, and he's done a lot for He's created the UK Prepper Network, and he's grown it. He's grown it well, so he's a good lad.
He has, mate. He's done well, especially get 10,000 subs.
Yeah. I'm still sitting at 1,400.
Well, I'm sitting at 220 something, mate. 231 actually. So you're doing better than me.
I was absolutely livid the other night. I've put more content out in the last month than I've done in the last 6 months because I've been busy, and it jumped up to something like 1,412, right? And when you've not got a lot of subscribers, see if you lose one or two, you're like that. What have I done? Oh no, what's happened? So I was at work and I'm on top of a lift. I'm testing a lift. I'm moving up and down a lift shaft, and I'm looking through. Like, the fuck? There's an R3 gone. And I'd put a video up, and then I'd even less after the video went up. I thought, I must have been really bad. And that's when I'd kicked off on Discord. Like, this is pish. This is absolutely shit.
To be fair, mate, when I put that video out tomorrow about that UFO in Afghan, I wonder what the difference is in subs. Like how quick those subs go up as opposed to how they've done on here.
It's not as niche, and it's an interest that, I mean, even in the small prepper circle that we're talking about tonight, that's tuned in to see this, it captures people's interest because they like to know that sort of stuff. Yeah. And I think you'll find that channel will explode. Yeah. Whereas the ones that, as soon as you mention prepper, I don't know if it's the algorithm or a lack of interest, but it's a hard sell, mate.
Yeah.
So I think you'll do pretty well.
The only people who've come to my channel, mate, are all off mics. I don't think I've found any organically. Do you know what I mean?
It'll show you on your searches and the results how they've found the channel. Yeah. See, when you go to the analytics, it will show you how they've found it, whether it was a notification or, you know, like a search result and stuff. Yeah. When you put your video up.
I mean, I hit a 100 hours watch time, and I've only put out 10 videos maybe.
That's brilliant. I'm only sitting on 2,600.
Only.
Yeah, but it's a year and a half later. A year and a half. Doesn't seem that long.
I mean, to be fair, mate, like the firesides and that, mate, are a good laugh. More than prepping, really. That's all it is. It's just a fuck about me for 2 hours for me.
It's good to find people with a common interest that you can bounce ideas across and get some sort of reassurance that you're not some sort of raving tinfoil hat wearing maniac, or indeed you might be, but don't worry, there's more out there just like you, so it's all good. Keep counting them cans, baby. So I mean, all good, mate.
I think someone put on Discord the other day, mate, or the message being said, it was good to see someone who's ex-military in the prepper community because you don't see many. And I was like, do you not?
I think there's a few on Discord. There is a few.
No, he meant on YouTube, mate. That's what he meant. He said on YouTube. Aye. And I don't. Maybe there isn't. Like I said, I don't really watch prepping channels.
Well, There is a lot in America. There's some
there's a lot in America,
ex-military in America, but in
Yeah.
the UK, not so much. In fact, I can't think of one. So the only other channel that I watched that was a guy who was just out of the military was Jake's van journey, mate, or something. It was really young lad was building a camper van, and it showed his room in the barracks out, emptying it and handing all the shit back to the stores. And he bought a camper van. He was building it, and his hair was getting longer and throughout his trip. So, very good. It's quite good.
Right, the guys. Throw any last questions you want answering in? I think I've caught up now. Miss Worms gained 6 subs today. There you go.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Don't forget, guys, Miss Worms' book, Show Some Love, on Amazon. I prefer physical books, but I'm sure you can get it on Kindle, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've got the Kindle version.
Have you? Oh, they see. I just like physical books.
I love to read. I do like to read, but it's usually either science fiction, military history. Mostly those two, to be honest. Anything that goes bang or boom. So I always had an affinity and an interest in the military if it was about a young lad. And there used to be a magazine called Combat that used to tell you about all the different like tornadoes and different things and cluster bombs and munitions. I'm reading that shit at 10. Bastard hasn't read it yet. Yeah, that's terrible, Andy. You mean you've not read it? Scumbag. I've read it. I've read the Kindle version I bought, but don't ask me anything about it because I've got a really bad memory. But I have read it, honest, Miss Worm.
Cheers, mate. Right, guys, if there's no other questions, thanks for joining in for the first live stream ever on the channel. I think it went all right.
Absolutely.
A bit more of a random one, less structured than Mike's. There's all sorts in there: UFOs, military, prepping. But to be fair, mate, that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a mashup. I didn't want it just to be stuck on prepping because we've probably answered most of the questions anyway that everyone's
I've only done 2 lives, and I found that, which is why I come on this one, because more moral support is your live, mate. Nothing. Yeah. It was nothing other than for that, because you did the same with myself and mine, and I appreciated it greatly. The questions tend to dictate the flow, and after doing a couple, I appreciated how hard it is for Mike trying to keep the conversation flowing.
Yeah,
and try to keep it interesting for people that are giving up their time to tune in and still answer the questions. It's really difficult. It's really difficult because you miss shit.
He must. To be fair, mate, he must put some work in.
Yes,
he does keep it flowing on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
he must put a lot of work in to keep it going.
And then he's got 3 chimps on the side of the screen gibbering a lot of rubbish. So it doesn't help.
Giving the poor guy grief.
Oh dear. Oh, you've got to laugh. But it's not serious. I mean, we got criticism for one of them. I don't know if you were on it.
For being too funny.
Yeah, prepping's serious.
Yeah, that's all that meant.
Yeah, it's serious, but you can do it with a smile, because serious doesn't mean to say that you've got to be stern and, it's the end of the world. Let's get through this. No, most bad things in my life I've laughed through.
Yeah, you have to, mate. Yeah.
Yep. Oh no, she's taking her clothes off. That's a different story.
Right then, guys. Thanks for tuning in, like I said, to the first live stream. Thanks to Brian for jumping on, mate.
My pleasure.
A little bit better. Head over to Brian's channel, guys. Subscribe to him. Watch all his content. Like I say, if it was for Brian, you wouldn't have had that Renigy panel, and I would still be in the Stone Age.
Not at all.
And I'd still have an expensive paperwork with no way to charge it if it wasn't for Brian. So yeah, guys. So we'll see you at the next one.
Awesome, mate. Thanks for having me. See you later, buddy.
Thanks for coming on. See you later, guys.